Hi everyone, welcome to 2021. Welcome to January. This is a kind of combined recap and coming up video. Recap of December. I just thought I'd combine them together. Usually they're separate, but not as much happened in December because if I haven't mentioned it a million times enough, I moved house in December. It took longer than expected to get organised. And yeah, still stuff is happening. But hey, we're getting there, right? That's kind of our filming room setup. Well, most of our filming room. So what happened in December, in case you missed it, I did a load of videos. Well, not as many as usual, but we did playthroughs of some fantastic games. Merv, fantastic game from Fabio Lopiano with art by Ian O'Toole, known for a lot of the Vital Lacerda games, but tons of other games by now. Really kind of thinky game where there's this great big grid of actions and you put a house down in a column, and if you've got more houses already in that column, you get more resources. You still only get to take one action, but you get more and more resources in one go. I played the solo game against the Corrupt. It wasn't the Cardinal. Corrupt Cardinal would be more alliterative, though. Yeah, it's one of those games where, like on Mars as well, I haven't talked about the 2019 games yet. That's coming up. Top 10 of 2019 is coming up soon. That's in the coming up part. But yeah, a game kind of like on Mars where I kind of think, this is kind of beyond my intelligence level. But I'm really enjoying it, but feeling a little bit daft while trying to get my head around doing well in it, at least. Winter Kingdom by Donald X. Vaccarino, a sequel, a spiritual successor to Kingdom Builder, a fantastic, fantastic game that I think wrongly maligned in the past. This is the core system of Kingdom Builder. You have one card, you put pieces down in the terrain that matches that card, and there's rules where you have to build adjacent to things you've already put down. It's an absolutely fantastic game, because Kingdom Builder was an absolutely fantastic game. This brings in its own wrinkles rather than going around the board collecting powers. You start with some cards. The same one is out for everybody, and you will build up more and more by spending coins. And there is a different way of earning coins each game. Like Kingdom Builder, very, very variable, and just a beautiful game. Would have been in my top 20 of the year for certain. Just missed out on the top 10, I think. Paleo is a cooperative game from Hans im Glück, who are, in the past, I've mentioned this before, known for meaty Euro games like Russian Railroads and Marco Polo, and I'd say absolutely, just based on that kind of pedigree, and they're doing a cooperative game, I'd pretty much go for any game that's coming out from them, and especially it being a cooperative game that I don't think I've played from them before, I was straight into it. Turns out that it's not trying to be, as I believe someone from Hans im Glück commented on the video, that it's not trying to be one of those games, and fair enough. I didn't think it was going to try and be anything that it wasn't, but yeah, bit too random, and kind of the game just saying no constantly. Can we do this? No. That was pretty much our experience of Paleo. Didn't enjoy that one very much. Then we had Barenpark, the Bad News Bears, which I may have talked about in something way back. I think that's one of the first videos I filmed where my shoulder got a bit better, and it got delayed for reasons, but it's back now. It's Barenpark, a polyomino laying game where you try to build a bear park with all sorts of different enclosures for pandas and grizzlies and stuff. Bad News Bears adds grizzly bears as a type, and all sorts of new tiles and things in one module, and your park gets bigger. But in the other module, which everyone is waiting for, is monorails, and who doesn't love just saying monorail and chanting it rhythmically? But also it's got some lovely 3D cardboard monorails and stuff. I've noticed that I'm gently veering into the space where the screenshots are going to be put, and they're going to cover up my head. Stay on this side. That hasn't come out yet. And Gods Love Dinosaurs, which is a game all about kind of food chains, really. They're a prey that you get by getting new tiles with new prey on them, rabbits and frogs and things, and when their columns activate, they reproduce and double if you've got space for them. And then there are predators that move in particular ways but eat the prey and make new predators by eating prey. And then finally, at the top of the food chain, are dinosaurs. And they want to eat the predators to earn eggs, to earn points. It's a beautiful, puzzly, it's almost kind of got an abstract feel to it, but the kind of bizarre theme and quirky art style and stuff really kind of lifts it above that. I'm just lifting from the first impressions video now. But yeah, I think that's definitely worth checking out. And very soon, today, perhaps, Whistle Mountain will be coming out. That should have come out last week. where it's a sequel to Whistle Stop. Do you remember the train game with the hexes and all of the special powers and things from a couple of years ago? Well, this time Scott Caputo has teamed up with Luke Laurie, who designed Dwellings of Eldervale, which is a very big game from 2020 that I haven't played, but did Manhattan Project Energy Empire, which I absolutely love. They have teamed up and taken from trains, taken it to the skies, and this is a game where we are placing airships on scaffolding to get resources at the start and building this scaffolding up and up and up, but we are placing machines on this scaffolding to do better things, get more resources, turn resources into things, and eventually we are hoping to get our people onto the scaffolding. Then when you put a machine down on top of people, they get promoted and saved. They're safer by having machines put on top of them, and eventually machines getting put high enough makes the water level rise, and the meeples are in trouble. It's great. That's you might have already seen that by the time I'm saying this, but it's coming up very soon at Whistle Mountain. So that's December and a little bit of now. Oh, and there's top 10. Don't forget that. Top 10 games of 2020. See what my favourites were of the year. It's all in there for like 50 minutes. So that was that's the end of 2020. But what is coming up in January? What are you going to be able to vote on? Okay, the January bit. So coming up that I know about, I filmed Whistle Mountain came quite high in the votes, but winning December's vote by quite a way, I think, was solo mode of Hallertau and Praga Caput Regni. They are coming very soon. I'm filming one of them in a minute. Marty keeps going in and out, in and out, in and out of the window in the room while I'm trying to film things, but that's cats, isn't it? So Kickstarters that are probably going to be coming in January. I'm going to be filming them in January anyway. Tinner's Trail, which is a Martin Wallace game from a few years ago, been out of print for a long, long time, and it's been redeveloped, reimagined, redone by Alley Cat Games, and redeveloped specifically by David Digby. I've met David, he is lovely, and I can't wait to see what he has done with Tinner's Trail. Not that I will know specific differences, because I didn't play Tinner's Trail before, but yeah, this time it's going to be brilliant. Roman Roll is getting a Gladiators expansion. That's one of the reasons that it's right out there. And you'll see an overview of that. And finally, I've got that right here, haven't I? Maeshowe. At least that's what the Maeshowe Society website says is pronounced. Hopefully they're right. Get in touch and make sure that's how they want their game pronounced for the Kickstarter. But it's being published by Dragon Dawn, who did such things as Petition's Mouth, and from same designer Lee Broderick, Dwarf, which I did a Kickstarter playthrough for in the past as well. Was it last year? But anyway, this is a game all about trying to escape a kind of labyrinth in the depths as a Viking and trying not to go mad in the process. Be seeing an overview of that very soon. And is that the Kickstarter things? Yes, that's might be all of them. It's really distracting. I've scraped my head. Sorry about that. Don't draw attention to it. You might not have noticed. I'm sure you've noticed. But okay, the things that are going to be in the vote. I know that some things would have been in the December vote and stuff. Let's not have the Hallertau and stuff distracting the other things. Some new stuff has arrived. Some stuff maybe deserves a second chance. Some stuff was just in the overlooked games top 10, and maybe you'd like to vote for it. So if you are a patron at the voting level, you get to vote on a playthrough every month, and I film what you want to see. So we've got Faiyum from Freedom and Freeze. This is kind of an Egyptian-themed deck building game. Although deck building game with a twist, you kind of play your cards in reverse order or something after you've played them. Anyway, I was supposed to be on a charity stream not long after I moved with Paul Grogan and Scott Aldi from Board Game Geek. I couldn't do that because I didn't have the internet, it turns out. It didn't come quickly enough. But I really want to show you the game solo, probably. Faiyum, The Magnificent Snow. I feel like this has been in the vote before. Forget all of that. A lot of things have been in the vote before. Magnificent, one of my favourite games from 2019, got a new kind of a new type of magician, new colour of tiles that you win in a separate way. They've got a master board where you can take extra actions, but it's different each round, and you can see what's coming forward next round. Just more stuff for the Magnificent. Do you want to see a full playthrough of that, or will it just be an overview of what's new if it doesn't get enough votes? Cubitos is... I want to just grab all of these things down. Cubitos is a dice racing game, kind of along the lines of Automobiles from AEG. It's a completely different designer, but this is from John D. Clare, designer of Mystic Vale and stuff. But this is a game where we have all of these coloured dice, And what the dice actually do is different depending on what cards have been drawn for them each game. The cards generally do similar things, like the red ones are kind of combat, but it's not about fighting with each other, it's about who rolled the most symbols on these red dice between them, and they get to do stuff. A lot about moving, a lot about earning more currency to be able to buy more dice and stuff. And yeah, it's kind of a deck builder kind of thing, but with dice instead of cards. And we're trying to race around very different tracks. There's 4 different tracks in it. We've played it once so far. I won't tell you what I was going to tell you what I think about it. I'm going to keep it a mystery. Vote for it if you want to find out. Tawantinsuyu just arrived last week, I think, from David Tortsey. It's on people's lists of the best of 2020. I've come to it late, I admit, but a game where, from my Essen list, I'm trying to remember now, but we have all of these worker placement spaces on this great big hill, and depending on how close your workers are to each other determines how these actions are going to come off and stuff. If anything's to go by from David's previous games, it's going to be a very, very kind of thinky experience. I'm really looking forward to that. This is a weird one. Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago. Pronouncing it Tobago from seeing that in American videos. Tobago Volcano. It's a fantastic game, the base game. It's a kind of a deduction game where we're on an island trying to find buried treasure, but where the buried treasure is kind of determined by the players themselves. We play cards on our turns that say, oh, the treasure is within 2 of palm trees, and it's not on grass and things like that. And eventually these clues will be played to the point where there is only 1 space on the board which becomes the treasure, and then it's the first to race over there in our 4x4s to go and get this treasure. Fantastic game. Been mentioning it, trying to bring it into votes every now and then. But now, about I think 10 years after its original release, it's got an expansion. And I'm really looking forward to playing this new thing, and maybe it's an opportunity to show off the game a little bit more. From what it looks like, it just arrived last night from Germany, but there is a great big plastic volcano in the middle of the board now, and a load of cards that relate to the placement of the volcano and stuff. And I imagine there's a load of lava tiles in there. I imagine we're not allowed to drive on those, and that's going to throw some hurdles in the way for getting around. Spirit Island, Jagged Earth. Spirit Island, a bit of a tricky thing to film. It's very difficult. But Jagged Earth adds a ton of stuff. It's not going to fit in the base box. It's a great big square. You can see it kind of behind me there. It's a great big square box full of stuff again. Loads of new spirits, loads of new cards, new boards. You can play it up to 6 players. I can't imagine you would need to be so good, I feel like, to play it 6 players. But anyway, I've been playing it probably 2 players, maybe solo. But you have to deal with, every spirit's got a strength and a weakness, and if you're only solo, you've got to try and cope with that weakness without another spirit to balance it out. Do you want to see some more Spirit Islands, some new things from this? I've never played with, the invaders, where you play as a particular country and they've got special rules. I've never played enough times to kind of feel like I was good enough to play with those, and maybe we'll turn one of those on. Robinson Crusoe is a game that Rachel and I had years and years ago. And kind of out of the blue, I got sent this Robinson Crusoe treasure chest, which turns out is a kind of compilation of all of the promos that have come out for Robinson Crusoe over the years, all the extra scenarios, characters, cards and things. There's a lot in there, but I didn't have Robinson Crusoe, so now I do have Robinson Crusoe. Would you like to see some of this stuff? I'll probably do a scenario from there. Maybe something like the Never Neverland Peter Pan scenario. Do you want to see some Robinson Crusoe? Next, these are a couple of games they've been in votes before and didn't quite make it. Are you interested, or shall we move on from these now? Anno 1800 by Martin Wallace, a kind of resource generating game, but the resources are all on these cubes that are our kind of people, our population, go onto these buildings and count as producing these cubes. We're trying to advance along these tech trees, building more and more things to try and satisfy the cards that we've got in our hand, and eventually try to get rid of all of the cards. But inevitably, cards lead to more cards. So it's all about, do you rush to try and get rid of all of your cards, or do you try and earn as many points as you can while keeping an eye on everyone else that's trying to rush the game from under you? Viscounts of the West Kingdom, I mentioned in last month's vote, the third in the trilogy of it. can't think of anything to say about it more than I did last time. And 3 that I wanted to put in from my top 10 overlooked games. So I went on about them in there, so I won't do so very much here. Super Motherload, great, strange, unusual rather than strange, unusual deck builder, which is built around mining, basically, drilling down these boards to try and get deeper and deeper to get resources, which are then used to buy better and better cards. Queen's Architects, a race game where we are trying to find the right smiths, the right workers to build these things for the Queen in various cities, and the workers are hexes and they've got numbers on them and they rotate when they work, and the total of the numbers on these hexes is how good they are. Some get better and go worse, some waver over time. Fantastic. And Xenon Profiteer, which is another, it's a deck building game, but a kind of deck unbuilding game that you start with a deck full of air, and you need to filter out all of the cards from air that aren't. It's not Xenon, is it? I realised when I was doing the top 10 overlooked games, it's like Xenon or something. I don't know where I've got Xenon from. Xenon Profiteer. What would you like to see out of those? Even if you're not voting it in the Patreon, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. And anything that I've not mentioned from there, what do you want to see that I haven't got yet? What should I be getting? What should I be looking out for? Maybe it's coming up there. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully it's not gone on too long. This is, well, you've already seen it. You know it was the recap and coming up of January. Hopefully going to be as many playthroughs as possible in January now that I'm pretty much set up and able to film stuff now. Thank you very much for watching, though, and hopefully see you for all of these great things. Bye.